Hi guys, welcome to a new video. Excuse my voice in this. I'm not sure. I've been coughing a little bit, but I don't know if drinking makes your voice go away or if I was hollering. And I don't recall, but not last night, but the night before last was Halloween, and I did go out. I didn't go crazy. It was just like a house party, but my voice is gone. I'm really debating whether or not I want to do a voiceover because, like, I want to talk, but at the same time, I don't know if somebody wants to hear me sounding like this. But I guess I should explain what I have done here. So the initial idea for this video was I wanted to be Marceline for Halloween. So, like, she was kind of in my mind. I was like, oh, God, it would be so fun to draw her. And, in the beginning, you could have seen, or maybe saw that I drew in a couple of circles to like set the scene of like, just my brain was thinking 3D. This is a space with multiple characters or things in it. It didn't end up being in this layout really at all, but it did help me as far as keeping the overall scene in mind while drawing her. So I started off by sketching Marceline in a pose. And then I wanted to give her two things to hold. So one is a red drink of whatever you want it to be, because she needs red to stay alive. And then a jack-o'-lantern. And then here I'm just editing the face and moving around stuff. I feel like the hair was pretty big off of the skull, so I dyed that down a little bit. And then, yeah, finished up her face. And that's pretty much Marceline done. If you've seen Adventure Time, you can probably guess who's the next character. So I'll give you a couple of seconds. If you guess Princess Bubblegum, you are correct. So this is a little bit of a fan art of their relationship / friendship. I just started off, I had a reference photo, and I could not understand in my brain how anatomy works for people that are sitting down, like slightly. So, like, usually if you're sitting down all the way and it's like a front on photo, you're like, the knees are going to be shortened a lot, the thigh at least. And so in my brain I was like, I know that principle or whatever, but I just couldn't get it to work for whatever perspective I thought I was doing at the time. But eventually I just like shortened the thighs to make it look more like she is just like sitting down, we're looking straight at her. And at this point in the drawing, I thought that I was going to have them at some type of outdoor party or like a bar of some sort. So she was sitting on a barrel. But eventually that does change to a different scene. I had a lot of fun with this pose, though, in general. And it felt really nice with this. You can see it on the screen. It's called Banny Croquois pen. And it allows for a very thin or a very thick stroke, and then the opacity also varies a lot depending on your pen pressure, which I really like. It doesn't have a whole bunch of stabilization as like where I have it set, but I found that is way more similar, at least for me, to a normal pencil on paper. So overall, it felt pretty responsive, and I didn't find myself getting frustrated with like how my lines were coming out, which is super good for like, at least for me, for like motivation. So here I'm just like cleaning up the lines around where the body would be in front of the barrel, and then I draw in some more things that make the barrel look more barrel-like. Even though all this does go away, it is nice to look at. Next, I am posing her hand to hold a certain thing, of which could be herbal another way, or something else. Then I am drawing in a little bit of skeleton kind of for her face, so I can understand how to do it when I draw over it with like thicker, more permanent lines. And I found that really helps me like not mess up where I wanted the facial features to land. Then I play around with how her eyes look and her actual face shape for a minute. because it didn't seem exactly correct as far as like 3/4 view is more so what I was going for, and it was more of a straight on head shape. So I fixed that. I think I made it a little bit bigger, and then I made the lines look a little bit more like how I wanted them to look. I want her to look a little bit like she's smiling at whatever she's looking at, and that is Marceline. So it's not like a super big smile face, but a little bit smiley. Then I went on to draw her hair in her normal bangs and long hair down pose. And after cleaning up the lines underneath her, all this is for like to make it easier for me to understand once I'm further away temporally from having done the line. So like erasing the pose from underneath the hair and stuff like that, just so it is cleaner. Then moving on to what I think was the most exciting part was deciding what their Halloween costumes would be, and I ended up doing Pim and Charlie from Smiling Friends. I made Marceline Charlie, and then Princess Bubblegum's going to be Pim, as you'll see eventually. I have recently binge watched this show, and I was just so happy when I thought of the idea, because I was like, these are just like, I think the two shows I really binge watched and finished quickly, just because of how much they resonated with me at the time. And so I'm so happy to do something that puts them together for me. I didn't really give too much thought to who was Pim and who was Charlie, so if you guys have seen both shows and feel that they should have been swapped, let me know why in the comments. At first I went for a closed button up on Bubblegum, but then I was like, Halloween is usually about being cute once you get to a certain age. I was like, is it cuter for it to be open? So I went for that option to see if it looked better, and I think overall it also gave it more motion, so I really liked the way that it ended up looking. Now it was time to give them a background, and I ended up choosing their front porch. And so I went in drawing the rocking chairs from the front porch, and then eventually I'm drawing the porch itself, the stair in front of it, the door, the windows, and all that. And I thought that was just super cute, because I just love the whole idea of them living together, and I think that with art we're able to really lean into the idea. And then it came time for me to place them in this scene, and I drew boxes to represent like where their seats are, so it was less complicated visually for me to just like put them where they're supposed to be. And my sister came out of her room, so it kind of distracted me from that last sentence, but I just put them in the scene, and then I was getting ready to color them. So eventually I put in their silhouette. The whole family's out here now, so a lot of people are making noise. As in my two cats and my sister. But I'm going to finish this voiceover so I can post this video for you guys, because it's only going to be relevant for so long, you know? But here I am putting in the silhouettes, and then I'm going to begin to color the characters. But like I said earlier, my main thing is to keep things simple as I'm coloring, so making sure that all the silhouette was like correct, and then erasing unneeded lines is what I'm doing right here. And then I pick Bubblegum's main color, which is her skin tone. That's most of the exposed color. And then I begin coloring in her shirt and stuff like that. This coloring does go by super fast because it's from the time lapse that Clip Studio Paint records, because I forgot to put a screen record on my iPad. But here, I'm coloring in Marceline next. And I did not do as clean of a sketch on hers as I would have wished for my past version of myself. Nevertheless, I worked with what I had, and it took, I guess, a little bit more rendering to yield something clean with Marceline's character versus Bubblegum. That's fine. I'm really happy the past version myself even drew, you know, so it's all good. This coloring, sometimes I just do things where I'm being stubborn and I want the like I just color on the top layer, and I just really should just find what layer I'm supposed to be in to make it look right, but it's okay. Then I jump to a bit of shading and highlighting in the background. I don't really know why. Maybe the way it looked right in my mind while I was coloring on it, but yeah, I then began shading the background, and then I used the multiply layer to push the background away from the foreground as far as lighting goes. And then I continued to render marceline until I felt like that was good. It's important to zoom out and remember that some of the details are not even noticeable. So I definitely could have like kept working on this, but as far as my purposes went, this was a good finishing point for me. With that being said, this brings us to the end of this video. So thank you for watching, and if you have any ideas for me, leave them in the comment section, and happy belated Halloween.